Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today it's a while for we are playing some more Siralim Ultimate. Okay. I somehow forgot to load up this part here. We are good to go for real. Alright, so today is it going to be the real time that we're getting to Eternity's End? I guess we will find out. We've been screwed a couple times. Alright, okay, so okay. Alright. Time to add something to this one here. Okay. I'm gonna mess with that off screen. I don't want to spend half an hour looking at stuff. Alright, let's see. Am I going to be in Eternity's End for real now? Finally, this is most certainly Eternity's End. You decide to seek out Vertrag's altar. There it is. But first we have enemies. Alright, pretty easy. You commune with the altar. Welcome, Estelle, to Eternity's End. I foresaw your arrival long before you began your quest to collect the 5 lesser nether orbs. I know that you've come for the King of Next. He's been waiting for you for your inevitable arrival for a long time now and wishes to speak with you. You'll find him deeper within my realm. Okay. Alright, so we got 10 perk points as usual. What is this? Oh, teleporters. Okay. Okay. Oh, that sucked. Oh god. I'm gonna avoid those things and just, you know, get everything in order. Otherwise it gets a little confusing. Alright, so there's the teleporter. There you go. Oh god, okay, so everything, okay. What's this? Okay, let's get those guys. Perfect. Oh, okay. Oh, what's this? Upon your approach, the strange spire begins to pulse rapidly. Moments later, an army of strange-looking creatures stand before you. The creatures attack, of course. Of course they do. Oh boy, 5, huh? There you go. Okay. You found the Sun Sphere. This powerful relic instantly rewards those who can overcome its trial. Let the trial begin. Okay. It's just regular mobs. Okay. I hope I can do this. Alright, well, I passed the challenge. Okay. I collected all 3 spheres and it's apparently impressive. River rank 1, okay. More creatures. I think we've got this. Right, mini-boss battle. Ugh. Might as well. Okay, you are scorned as well. I am a trickster. So that's what I decided to pick for this particular game. That's my first Siralim game, so I wasn't too familiar with how things work in it. I'm not super far in the game. I think it's one of those games that never ends. Like you always get bigger numbers and everything. I think the appeal of the game is to try to create the deadliest combos that can trigger like instant death on the enemies and everything. So, but I'm not far enough into the game to know that for a fact. So I was gonna ask you if you have played Siralim before, but I guess not. So for example, one thing that I have set up with my party that is pretty strong is, you know, if I have people that die and I resurrect them, it's going to deal like heavy damage to all the monsters. There you go. So I have a few ways to res the unicorn, like my second monster from the bottom, the black one. Whenever that one attacks, it resurrects a random monster of mine with 50% health, and whenever I have somebody that gets res, it deals damage to everybody. Now the third guy has group res, so if I have 3 or 4 monsters down and he's still up and he casts it, it's going to wipe the floor. So that's kind of what I'm building around right now. So I'm going to resurrect this guy and it's gonna hit the guy at the top again. Alright, well, maybe he has a barrier on or something. It didn't deal a whole lot of damage. But anyway. But the game is pretty fun. You need to not have something against randomized dungeons and everything, because that's all it is that the dungeons are created randomly and you just go through. I try to collect everything. And then I'll show you once I'm done exploring this floor. I'll show you that, you can go back to your castle, and then you can build all kinds of things in there. It's actually pretty deep. For an indie game, it has a shitload of content. That's for sure. Alright, I'm gonna get all of that stuff here before I teleport into there for the mini boss battle again. Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. So the numbers. So I just unlocked something that's called realm instability. So basically, I teleport into a realm, and then you can set it from 0, which is no instability, all the way up to 5, and each number of instability that you put in adds like random debuffs and whatnot to the floor, and it gets a lot tougher. Again, I'm not super far into the game, so we're not seeing that, but it definitely can get hard. As far as customization of the game, this is one of the deepest games I've ever played. As far as customization, you can fuse any two monsters you want together, and it kind of creates a new monster that has both characteristics. You can equip them with. So like this guy I've equipped with boots, and then you can make the boots better, and you unlock. So the boots at first will only have the first line, and then I decided to add 24% speed to it. Then you develop them further, then you get the second line, then you can put whatever you want in there. So I've put extra health and extra speed, but you could put like intelligence if you wanted, or more attack, or whatever. So it's pretty deep. You can do the same thing with spells too, so you can kind of develop them further and give them more attributes. So at the end of the day, you can really customize the game like crazy, or not the game itself, but your party. Alright, so those are what I call mini boss battles. They are like in a a special chamber with a couple treasure chests, and they're usually a little bit tougher than regular battles. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. So I'm playing as a trickster, and I have kept one of my abilities that makes it so that all of the enemies on the screen start the battle confused. So that's why you see a question mark like on their picture. So that means that they're confused. That's because of a threat that I have. Other classes do other things, and of course, that there's other things that I do too with my class, but that's the first one I focused on. Kind of gives me a chance to catch up when they're hitting each other. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's even better. But yeah, this is more a game that's a nice time killer, where you just want to, build the strongest possible party you can and just blow through things. There's also you can set macros where you just press a button and it does things and everything to speed up battles. Since I'm kind of streaming the game, I don't do that. But yeah, that's also something you can do. I don't think anything here has less than 30%. So another thing that my trickster does is that at the start of the battle, it steals a random spell from enemies and give them to my guys. So that's why you see like that hourglass next to that spell. That's because I stole it at the start of the battle. Oh, that's actually pretty good. So that's a buff, obviously. So in a way, it's, you know, it can be similar to Brigandine a little bit, but in a different format. In Brigandine, you also have like all of those monsters and everything. You can give them different equipment, of course. You know, the monsters are pretty much always, like the dragons are always going to be the dragons, but it has a few similar characteristics. You should be... Yep, there we go. And there's also a thing with the game where, like, the longest you go without dying, the more fortune you accumulate, so you get more treasures from treasure chests and everything. If you die, it's reset to 0, so then the chests really don't give all that much and everything. So it's kind of an incentive to try to stay alive. I've died plenty. There's a floor I was struggling with. My party was not very good for the boss of that particular floor, and I needed to actually get lucky to to beat it. So it happens. Alright, so that should be pretty easy. Also, I have stuff set so that some of my spells cast automatically at the start of the turn. That's what you saw here with my bottom right monster. He casted his spell randomly at the start of the battle. So the Trickster is all about kind of try to turn the tide of battle in your favor using kind of advantages like that. They're, you know, clerics are gonna focus on healing mostly and everything. The Dark Knight is all about raw damage. So it's you know, there's a lot of different ways you can set yourself up. And instead of, you know, capturing monsters like Pokemon, like, you know, to get a Pokemon you have to capture it when you play Pokemon. In this, the more often you beat monsters, the more knowledge you get about them, and then when you go to summon them, they get stronger because you have more knowledge about them. And you also get more knowledge sometimes from chests and everything. Okay. So I'm a little bit over leveled for the floor I'm on because I struggled so much on that one floor. So that's why, like, I'm really plowing through everything. Okay. Oh, shell the N. Okay. Oh, man. Come on. Alright. Oh, he's burning. There's a lot of status effects in the game. I don't always know what they all do still. There's too many of them, so I would have to look them up. Like, I'm not sure what time walking does. Oh, a chocolate bar. Alright, so we're gonna have another one of those mini boss battles. Alright, we got a free spell strike to land. Cool. Perfect. Alright, so I know what Scorn does. It prevents regular attacks, so those guys have to use spell gems, but I stole some of them at the start of the battle, so I don't know how that's gonna go for them. No, I don't want that. That one down. Oh. So they're hitting each other. Now the guy that I have here always attacks the monsters on both sides as well. Now I don't have like 3 on a row on a line. So if I attack this guy, he should also attack this guy next to him. Yeah, that didn't deal a whole lot of damage, but yeah. And this guy does 2 whiplashes with every attack as well. Oh, dodged. Okay. So not all that much. Yeah, I died recently, so my chests are not completely filled with a whole bunch of stuff. It happens. So while it creates random maps and everything, you're always given the map to look at on every floor, so you can see where you haven't been. So it's easy. So I have a little bit over there to go through. I think that's gonna be pretty much it. I think I went everywhere else. I sure did. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and clear over there, make sure there's no treasure chests laying around or anything. And then I might go to the castle. Alright, so I've cleared the floor, so I'm gonna go back to Siralim. Alright, so this is your castle. So I just recently expanded the castle, so you get a bunch of decorations, musics, whatnot to put in. So this is all, I did that decoration, then I got tired. That's the only room that's decorated right now. There's stuff that's useful, of course, as well. And like, this is the blacksmith, where you can upgrade your weapons and everything. Right, so like, so that sword has an empty threat slot, so those do actual stuff in battle. So now I can check what I want to add to that weapon. So what does that do? Okay, so this creature deals critical damage. It has a 35% chance to attack again. Okay, that's kind of cool, but that one doesn't crit very often. Okay. At the start of this creature's turn, your other creature is gonna run. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, okay. Okay, Grimoire creatures attack steal. Okay. Oh, that might be good for me. Since everything start confused, if they lose confused, they get another debuff. I think I like that. Let's go ahead and put that on. Cool. Alright, so then you can come here and you can summon creatures. So all of this here, those are all the creatures I have faced so far so that I can summon them. There's a whole lot of them, and then keep in mind you can fuse any two creatures together to kind of fuse a unique one with the abilities of both. So yeah, it's pretty in depth when you think about it. I'm not gonna summon anything right now. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to the next floor. Now that's realm instability. I'm still doing just the regular, start, so I'm not gonna add it, but you can see what it does. So when you ask if the game can get hard, this is where you make it hard. So you go into a floor and, at 0 it's just, normal. So if I put it at 1, each enemy is gonna attack me 2 more times. Enemies are gonna be fused together, and there's gonna be 1 hidden realm property. But as an incentive, you get more items. So, alright, and then if I were to put it at 2 on top of what we've seen, enemies would have a 42% chance to dodge and 2 hidden realm properties, and so on and so forth. So for now, since I'm still trying to just, do the regular story, I just do it at 0. But at one point, you kind of beat the regular story and everything, and from there I would go ahead and try to mess with it. Oh, it's Caliban. Startled, you ask Caliban how he is able to communicate with you while you're not asleep. Eternity's End is a projection of your own mind. Each person experiences it in a very different way. What you see all around you is a product of your own imagination. As such, I can speak freely with you as long as you're here. You decide that you're better off not thinking too hard about how all of this works. I sense that we're drawing closer to the ultimate nether orb. Press on, Estelle. Alright, thank you. Oh, enemies. Oh yeah, and I also have, with my Trickster, I also have an ability that kills a random enemy at the start of the battle, so that's why one of them is already gone. So my Trickster makes it so that one random enemy is killed at the start of battle. Every enemy starts the battle confused, and we steal spells from enemies and give them to our own. So yeah, that's what Tricksters do. Perfect. More monsters! Alright, so one of them just died. So whenever that unicorn attacks, it heals everybody for half of the damage that it dealt. So I'm trying to find ways to raise its attack so that I have a stronger heal, basically. Right, more monsters. Alright, Carbuncle is gone. So yeah, if you like, well, I know you like RPGs, but if you like games where you can just, you know, sit back and try to figure out ways to make yourself overpowered with a lot of choices and everything, I do recommend the game. I got it on sale, it wasn't very expensive, it was on Steam, so I would definitely take a look at that. I know it's not for everybody. Some people don't like to have too much choices. They feel overwhelmed. So if, you know, if that's how you feel about it, then you're probably not gonna like the game all too much. But yeah. Alright, so that thing had monsters in it. Oh yeah, and spells have a limited number of times that you can cast them. It's by floor, so I can cast Star Pack. I have 3 charges on it, so I can cast it 3 times total on this floor. If I move floors, it, you know, it replenishes. So I have this guy to trigger antidote randomly sometimes when he attacks, but I don't have any debuffs right now, so he didn't do anything. And those things tend to have a good defense. There you go. That guy hits hard too. What is that thing again? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't afford any of that stuff. Yeah, there's a couple things here that would be pretty cool. I don't have enough stuff to buy it. Yeah. That's too bad. I am too poor. Yep, I also streamed that game. I believe you stopped by one time as well to watch me play. I play as the United Islands of Miralva. Yeah, my first playthrough was as Manasalicia, and I destroyed the land with Rudo because he's a tank. He's almost unbeatable. Oh, cool. 2 enemies are gonna die. So how is Gustavo treating you? Sim gets really strong in the game. Let's go ahead and do the mini boss battle. I can believe it. In my current playthrough with Islands of Mirelva, they have several of their leaders that are like either level 30 or really close to 30. And yeah, Sin is giving me fits. Yep, Sin is not easy to deal with. I think the Islands of Mirelva is the weakest nation. Maybe the Shinobi. Shinobi are not that great either, but Mirelva is pretty weak as well. Like, all of their best knights are Vikings, and Vikings suck when it's time to hit. Of course, I mean, you can change the classes and everything. I'm just talking about their base class. That's okay, I'm gonna res. Oh. Let's res this guy. I haven't played with them yet, but I can see it. I can see why it doesn't make much sense for them to, kind of like Leonia in Grand Edition or Legend of Forcina. Like, it feels like they go to war because they've been dragged into it. At the start they want to just be neutral and be left alone. So I kind of feel like it's a little bit similar. Woohoo! Perk points. So now I get to spend that. Yeah, I don't remember if you've played the older Brigandine or not. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it, but I don't remember if you've played it or not. I don't like those things. Okay, let's see here. Another chest. Oh, that thing had monsters in it. Alright. Alright, I got all 3 spheres again. Alright. Oh, I didn't go in there yet. We're gonna wait on that. I don't have any debuffs on me right now. Oh. Don't really care for that. Oh god, they have a lot of health, huh? Thankfully they're helping me attack each other by attacking each other. Alright. Yeah, those things have a lot of health. There you go. Uh-oh. All is good. Almost part of the plan. There you go. Just one buff from moon orbs, okay. I don't know if it's just for the floor or if it's forever. Probably just for the floor. Let's go over here. Alright, not a whole lot. Is that it? Yep. Alright, just that mini boss battle, and then it's gonna be the real boss battle, and sometimes that hurts. Spell gems have 30% chance to be cast. Okay, let's do this. Ugh. Nice. Not nice. You're almost down. There you go. Ow. He's dead. That means I have to res him, which means it's gonna hurt for them. Not that much. Okay. Down again. Okay. Uh-oh. Ah. That thing hits hard. I don't like it. Alright. Let's go hard. Okay, that battle was not the most efficient I've had. Alright, let's go face the boss battle, which might be the last boss battle for the regular story, if I've been following properly. So you've arrived at last, Estelle. I understand that you are here for the ultimate Nether Orb. I know not what drives you to pursue such ambitions, but I will not allow you to claim this relic and compromise the sanctity of Rodiach. It is preposterous that you perceive Estelle to be the one with ill intentions, Lucius, but I have been witness to your dreams and know that you are the one with malevolent desires. I suppose the line between good and evil is a matter of perspective. Estelle will give you one final chance to turn around and leave this place in peace. We're not going anywhere without the ultimate Nether Orb. It is you who we offer the final opportunity to reconsider your intentions and hand over the orb at once. It seems we are at an impasse. I will make your death swift and merciful. It is the least I can do for an old friend and ally. To arms, Estelle. It is time to end this struggle, one way or another. Alright. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, let's cast this. Okay, you have a barrier. I'm gonna need to take care of that. Mother and SP. Oh, cool. Let's do that. Yeah, thank God they are attacking each other for a while. Wait, am I reading this right? Target takes a large amount of damage and gains... Oh, no, it's the opposite of what I thought it was. Oh, okay. We can't do snowstorm anymore. Ah, you're scorned. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna take... This battle is gonna take a second here. Oh, 1080. And that thing is still standing. Well, looks like it bugs. I don't think it can stand. One monster down. time to enact resurrections for damage. I need to keep my resers up. Okay, you're one of them, as long as you don't miss. Alright, everything takes 20% more damage. Woohoo! The bus is actually down. Alright. You're the only one left. That's crazy. Look at all those buffs and debuffs on him. Hey, that's not nice. That's crazy. Oh, I have a few that are confused. Oh, look at that, it's all gone. Oh, no, there's just too many. It has so many buffs and debuffs that it cannot be shown on just one, like, window. Let's try that. Oh, E is the boss, it wasn't the one at the bottom. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Okay. Uh-oh. I am not sure what to do here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah, he's invisible, okay. Let's cast this and see what I get. Maybe I'm gonna get something that's gonna be useful. We're all proficient already. That's useless. Okay. Yeah, that's not good. It's invisible, so I cannot do anything. Okay, that's pointless. Are you invisible again? Dang. Target takes a small amount of damage against. Oh, immune, you're the boss. Okay. Can't do that. Everybody takes 40% more damage. Oh, I won. Oh. Whew. Thank God he was the last one on the battlefield, so rebirth didn't trigger. Oh. As this final creature falls, he backs away from you with a grimace. How? Why has it come to this? You know not what you're doing, Estelle. You've gone mad. First you attacked my kingdom, and now you've gone through all this trouble to pursue me in the name of the ultimate Nether Orb. This is not the Estelle that I know, the Estelle that I trusted as my closest ally for all these years. Lucius begins to wave his hands around as he channels some sort of spell. Despite your malignance, I feel that I owe it to Damaus and Ebron to warn you of their plight. When they attack next, I use the ultimate Nether Orb to take control of Tartarith, the god of punishment. Tartarith helped to repel your invasion of my kingdom, but what I did not realize was that he would pursue Damaus and Ebron. Long after the fight ended, I fear that they were captured. I do not blame them for their attack. They were only following your orders after all, and that is why I hope you will seek them out and rescue them before it is too late. Farewell, Estelle. Do not try to pursue me. Next will not be so easily infiltrated again. No, no, he took the ultimate Nithra orb with him. Estelle, you must chase down this heathen at once. There is no telling what he will do now that we've provoked him. After hearing Lucius's words, you begin to doubt that he will use the ultimate Nithra orb for nefarious purposes. You explain to Caliban that your foremost priority is to rescue Damaus and Ebron from the torture chamber. Do not be led astray by Lucius' silver tongue, Estelle. Not only am I sure that he will use the orb to dominate Rhodia, I am also certain that his ruse to convince you to pursue Damaus and Ebron is a trap. Despite Caliban's insistence, you can't help but trust in the sincerity of Lucius's warning. Whether it's a trap or not, you have no choice. You must travel to the torture chamber and rescue Damaus and Ebron immediately. You should report to Everett and tell him what you learned here. Not before I loot the chests. Alright, let's talk to him. So let me guess another false lead. You quickly explain to Everett what transpired in Eternity's End. I am relieved to hear that Damaus and Ebron yet live, but we certainly have no time for celebration. Estelle, you must make your way to the torture chamber immediately and rescue them. But where is the torture chamber located? I've only heard about it in stories. I can't imagine where it might be. Greetings, Estelle. I apologize for my intrusion, but I overheard your discussion. While I am unsure of its location myself, I am confident that Phryden, god of the sea, will know. Seek him out in where the dead ships dwell. He should be able to help you find your knights. Thank you, Apocranox. Estelle, we have no time to lose. Make your way to where the dead ships dwell and see if Phryden will help us in our plight. Oh, I almost forgot. I have some projects for you to take out now. Check them out when you have a moment to spare. I need to finish my current projects first. Oh, I need just a little bit more arcane dust for that one, and a little bit more creature parts and arcane dust for that one. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and save the game. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for today. So we cleared yet another realm, and next time out we are going to go even deeper, because apparently the story is not over. I thought it would be the end, but no. So we're gonna go ahead and do more. So as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in, and until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.